Okay, we are recording, guys. Welcome to our Tuesday night live Lifevantage opportunity webinar. My name is Michael Huey. I'm an Elite Pro 7 with Lifevantage. As you see, I'm also an elite health coach. I'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's get started. Let's dive right into this because I want to value your time tonight. I believe it's important that you, whether you're a guest tonight or a distributor or a customer and you're here to learn, I was just saying to Stacy before we got on here that it's very important that we learn this information so much that we know it like the back of our hand. And I shared this with the guy today that is next week is going to join us in the business. He owns several dojos up in Pennsylvania and Ohio, and we were just talking about the impact of where this is. And he's a forward thinker, a scientific guy, and I believe you guys were going to get some valuable information tonight that can really impact your life in a massive way, not just in a small way, but in a massive way. And so, as you've seen, my name is Michael Huey. That's me right there. I'm the founder and CEO of Keyfluence, which is a coaching opportunity business that my wife and I have created, where I only work with men. We also work with couples, but we mainly focus on men to help them walk in and towards their purpose in health, relationships, and business. And without this opportunity, we would not be able to have influenced so many lives through our coaching business. You can see my amazing and wonderful wife, who is one of the most incredible human beings that walks the face of the earth right there, my wife, Lisa. I was in the fitness industry, and I'm just going to tell you guys this. My wife retired 2 weeks ago from the nursing industry because of this very opportunity, because allowing us now to come home. She has a desk right across there. It's funny, Stacy was just saying she was in the other room doing a Facebook Live, and then she just came in. I just saw she must be finished. So one of the best decisions I ever made was understanding that your net worth is not valued by what you have in the bank. It's by the people that you can influence and the people that you surround yourself with. And my wife and I joined a mastermind last year called Thrive Connect, and you can see it's by a guy named Cole Hatter. His goal is to make money matter. The only way you can be a part of this mastermind, of course, you have to pay to get in, but you have to be able to have a for-purpose business, not a for-profit. Obviously, all businesses are for-profit, but it has to be a for-purpose business. And that's the way my wife and I live our life. We want to be able to impact lives for a purpose. And as you know, I was in the fitness industry. You see a picture of me. I'm a graduate of The Ohio State University. Also went to graduate school there. I have over 20 certifications in the health, wellness, and nutrition. I have an anti-aging certification. I was a national educator for the American Council of Exercise. I created multiple six-figure incomes inside that industry. But one of the greatest decisions I ever made was to get involved and to teach people this information that I'm teaching you tonight. And so to some of you, this is going to be a new slide tonight, and I'm going to mix these around a little bit because we always want to have updated information when we share information with you tonight. So here's what I want you to think about. I believe this information you're hearing about is as significant of a finding as Amazon was. And so ask yourself, do you remember where you were back in July 5th of 1994? I started to think today about the impact that Amazon has had. Amazon, and I left some pictures off, it's now even affecting Walmart and Target and some of these other, like all the sports authorities have closed down. Barnes and Noble is closed down. There's no more Kmart. Sears are closing down. JCPenney's is closing down. Several places, I mean, even Whole Foods and some of these other places are closing down because Amazon is so easy and so quick. It's convenient. Like for me, I was looking even at a golf club yesterday that I found on Amazon cheaper than I found at the store. And what a lot of people do is they go to the store, they look at the prices, and then they come and buy it on Amazon. And a lot of people pay $100 a year even to be able to have free shipping. And so I believe this disruptive information that you're going to hear about tonight is going to disrupt and change what I used to do. And I'm going to go back to this picture of me putting all these supplements in their mouth. That was me. That was my family. That was my dad. But still sick, still struggling with health issues. That supplement regimen was a guessing game. We were just guessing. And this information that you're hearing about tonight is massively. Just look at this. Google used to be the number one brand and went back and forth with Apple. Now look at what the number one brand is. This is from Inc. magazine, the most popular brands for 2018. Look at Amazon, up 42% from last year. And look at its rank. It was ranked number 3 and went from number 3 to number 1. Okay, and you can see Amazon's the largest online business by market capitalization. Beyond being an online retailer, it produces cloud infrastructure and electronics and is present in music and video streaming. In addition, in 2017, $13.7 billion Whole Foods acquisition took Amazon from digital to the physical realm. Okay, so you guys can see that that's a big thing. And so here's where this information tonight that you're hearing about started. It started back in 2005 with this ABC Primetime. I'm not going to play it for you tonight because I want to value your time. But if you're a guest, you need to go back and watch this. And at the end of this, it has an update showing you that everything they thought was possible, because usually when ABC News does investigative reports, they're never good. It's usually people ducking or running out, a camera in their face. Not on this. And what's great about this is now 13 years old, but you can watch an update after this and see that everything they thought could happen has happened and more, okay? And I've said this before. Look, Band-Aid is not a Band-Aid. Band-Aid is an adhesive bandage, but you call it a Band-Aid because it was first, okay? Same thing with a Kleenex. It's not a Kleenex, it's a tissue, but you call it a Kleenex because it's a brand name. Just like this information you're hearing about tonight is a branded name. Biohacking is what we're going to talk about tonight, and we're going to talk about biohacking through nutrigenomics that is going to jeopardize a $300 million supplement industry. And so as you go through that video, you'll see the video at the end. Now, several years later, all of the stuff that they said has happened, and as I said, has happened massively. So there's 2 definitions when you think about biohacking. And it's the art of hacking your biology using nature's built-in mechanisms to stack the cards in your favor, become the best version of yourself, maximizing your biological potential. And then it says you can gain control of systems in your body that you would never have access to. Guys, that supplement game was guessing. Like, there's no placebo effect in blood. When you have and we'll educate you more on this as we go. When you have the only clinically proven product in the world to get 9 patents, and we'll talk more about that as we go, there's no placebo effect in that. And you'll see also, just with animals, with dogs, there's no placebo effect in dogs. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about different areas in our life that we can show actual results and actual experiences. So every single person on here tonight has struggled with these 3 things: inflammation, low energy, and bloating, right? I've said this and I'll say it over and over. Our gut is our second brain. And now there's a solution. It's this term nutrigenomics. Biohacking through nutrigenomics, okay? And it starts with this oxidative stress, because oxidative stress is what leads to inflammation. And you find it everywhere. If you leave out an apple, it turns brown, right? If you leave out a pepper, it gets mushy, right? And then it turns colors. And that can happen anyway. It happens from oxidation. Your cell phone, like I leave my cell phone away from me as much as I can. I turn off the Wi-Fi in my house at night because it's all causing radiation and oxidation, right? Same thing when you go outside and you exercise. That causes oxidative stress. It causes massive free radicals ravaging our body. And just look, free radicals lead to oxidative stress. Our body is ravaged by 300 septillion free radicals every single day. It's 23 zeros. You can't even count it out that much, okay? And just look at the diseases and body parts that are affected by it. I can guarantee you, you will know somebody that has multiple issues of this and histories in your family. Time Magazine did a little thing I'll talk about at the end where we're no longer bound to those things that our family, our great-grandfathers and grandfathers struggled with. And so why should you care? You should care because these universities, including my university, as I share this today, when I went through this study that was done by the American Heart Association at my university, Ohio State, on bypass grafts, my wife worked in open heart surgery. She looked at the study and she says, honey, if this is true, this is one of the greatest discoveries I've ever seen. And so I looked at the study, and one of the professors at my college at Ohio State was on the study, and I emailed him and I asked him several questions. He got back to me weeks later and he said, Mike, I can't be in the business, or I would because of the studies, but he said, my family will take this product the rest of their life. We signed a no compete not to take the product, not to be a representative for it because we were involved in the study. He said, in my mind, it's the greatest research that we've ever seen on anything natural, and really the greatest research we've seen since penicillin. And I was like, what? And I couldn't believe the words that came out of his mouth. And at that point, I didn't need to know anything else. I just knew that I was going to take it the rest of the life. So was my family, and we will. And that was, wow, going on 7 years ago. Today, the company is 9 years old. So that's an awesome thing. And so you can look at the studies. Harvard, Texas Tech, drug companies are studying it. We'll go on and talk about that. Look, remember, Google is a search engine, okay? It's not a research engine. We don't go to Google to research anything when it comes to do with our health. Nothing. They made a separate engine of research called Google Scholar, which is where we can go and do research, not a search engine, okay? And then you can see it here. It's 7 patents. Now it's 9 patents because it's 7 U.S. and 2 international, right? And you can see it. If you go to PubMed, just type in any product that you use. You won't find natural studies. I'd never been able to find them in my 27-year career. And now we have 23 and 3 more in the peer-reviewed process that we have access to. We already know what they're going to be, but they're in the peer-reviewed process. Look, I could do a study, but I would have to give it to my peers to be peer-reviewed before it can be published on this site. You can't just be anybody and publish a study on here. It has to go through a peer-reviewed process, okay? You validate it and you give it to people who specialize in this, and then they revalidate it and say what you said is correct and true. And that's how it gets on PubMed. So here's why oxidative stress is such a big deal. Beyond all these universities studying it, it's because for years, that big spoonful of supplements, antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, didn't do anything to activate my body to slow down these free radicals. They were working on a one-to-one basis, working exogenously and then exiting the body. This works endogenously, which is 1,000,000 times more effective. Every second, every hour, every day. You're turning on a light switch. Like I have big lights here that are keeping me bright in here. If these lights are turned off, and like they were when I walked in the house, before I turn them on, is there still electricity running to them? Of course. What this does is this turns those lights on. It turns back on those systems inside your body that there was no way to do that before. And now we're first to teach you about this mechanism inside our body that flips that switch that turns on our body's own survival genes. Catalase, glutathione, SOD. We don't have to take intravenous glutathione. You see all these biohackers taking intravenous glutathione. It's an exogenous way of taking it. We increase glutathione by 300% after 120 days, which means the longer you take these products, the better you feel. It's why people if they have an expectation of feeling something, I never took Protandim to feel anything. I just took it because I knew what the science says. I took it because it works on a 1 to 1 million ratio rather than a 1 to 1. I remember one of my favorite talk show hosts, Montel Williams, struggled with MS. And he said, look, I took all of these supplements for a year, and I just realized that I'd have to take 1 pill to equal 365 oranges. Sold. Like 11 pounds of blueberries. Sold. Okay? So we now can activate our body to do our own antioxidant defense systems, to do what God intended to do, because we age and free radicals and oxidative stress allows our bodies not to perform, we can just turn it back on to perform like we did when we were young. And when you watch that ABC primetime, I want to point one other thing out to you. Watch that at the end of 30 days, that they couldn't tell the oxidative stress levels from a 20-year-old to an 80-year-old. They were all extrapolated back to that of the 20-year-old. They couldn't tell the difference in their blood, not a placebo effect, their blood in every single person ever tested. And that's what I want you guys to realize when you think about how this goes, how this is doing. You know, and that's the most important part. So let's go on. Let's talk about a couple of these studies. Okay. Sorry, I'm hoping I didn't get ahead of myself. Okay. So look, this was a Washington State study that said NRF2 may become the most extraordinary and therapeutic preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And guys, that's huge. Here's another one. Here's the one on MS I told you about that got Montel. Look, there's a drug out right now that did over 3.2 billion in sales last year, has massive side effects. One of the ingredients they use to make yoga mats with in foreign countries. I mean, it's just insane what they put into pharmaceuticals nowadays. But it's called Tecfidera or BG12. And that company, Biogen, paid this researcher, Dr. Van Horsen, to compare Protandim against this and during this study. And so, guys, here's what's really crazy. Is that this, hey guys, and can you do me one favor? Just save your chat things for the end when we get done. It's just a little distracting. Is that you can read what this says. Interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Guys, here it is. It's simple, okay? So let's move on. Let's talk about Protandim, okay? This is our NRF2 activator. This is the first NRF2 activator with 9 patents, 23 published studies. We're going to have 35 to 40 in the next 2 to 3 years. We've had over 700 medical professionals join the company within the last 2 to 3 years. Now, we have a cardiologist friend of ours in Tampa who has 3,000 patients on the products. Just look at this study. They took, the National Institute of Aging did a study with pharmaceuticals and natural products. It was an 11-year study, and they only found one natural product to extend life and delay disease, and that was Protandim. We didn't pay for that study. It was all funded by the National Institute of Aging. Slowing down cellular aging, the only clinically proven product in the world to reduce oxidative stress in humans by an average of 40% in 30 days. There's going to be a lot of people come along, and we've seen it, but they cannot say that, okay? And then the second piece of those 4 pillars is your mitochondria. Why should you care? Mitochondria converts food energy into cellular energy, okay? And let's look at what the breakdown of our mitochondria causes: epilepsy, Huntington's disease, fibromyalgia, autism, muscular dystrophy, cancer. The list goes on. And then we created this next category of activation of the NRF1 protein, repairing and creating new mitochondria, not just repairing, okay, but creating new and continuing to slow down cellular aging. Guys, this is on the outside of the cell now. Now we're creating more mitochondria, and as I said, repairing them at the same thing. And then here's the third pillar, which could be the most important pillar, but we have to have 4 pillars to keep, 4 stilts to keep a house up on its basis. So, but as I said, there's a lot of, and if you guys want, I have a Facebook page. It's called Biohacking Product and Insight Group. I posted some results of kids with autism with just our probiotic, and I'm running harder to some of the educate some of the more, and my wife is doing the same thing to educate who have kids with autism. Okay. And guys, if you just came on, please mute yourself if you can. I have some background noises in there. Just kind of mute yourself if you can. And so what makes our probiotic better, guys, against the grain of understanding how most people don't understand that they think it has to be refrigerated. They think it has to be encapsulated. It shouldn't be either one of those, right? And we took BioTrack technology and Wellmune and put them in here. And the reason we did that is because this BioTrack technology allows 60% of the spores, which it should be a spore biotic, to get in through the small and large intestines. And I took one of what I thought was the best brand on the market because I always wanted to take the best and give the best to my family. And I found this was better. It elevated what was going on inside my gut. And I have a size 34-inch waist, and I'll be 50 years old this year. And I believe this is one of the major factors that changed that around for me. Wellmune, increases your digestive and immune function, okay? So, and you can see, look at what the leaky gut does. Sinuses, joint problems, adrenal fatigue, colon, thyroid, skin issues. Oh, awesome. Okay, I did put this on here. I wasn't sure if I'd put this on here, but I'm just going to read you just this short, brief testimony from, and now look, we can't say we treat, prevent, or cure, mitigate disease, but this is just from the probiotics, and we're introducing more of the products into this young girl, and it says, my lovely daughter, vivacious 15-year-old who was diagnosed with severe autism, has been working with biometrical options and specialized diets for years. After she was 3, actually. There's been some progress, but anxiety, mysterious body pain has kept us from moving forward. 2 months ago, I began using the probiotic formulation from Lifevantage as recommended by Dr. John Huey. At first was not a marked difference. Guys, that's why you continue to take it. But in the past week, there's been unprompted language, use of new words, labeling of animals, happy demeanor, less fear, desire to be more affectionate. My daughter usually can't tolerate much touch, but lately she has been coming to me for hugs and hand kisses. Guys, I don't know about you, but that's significant, okay? Nothing is sweeter than a hug, excuse me, or kiss from your child. She's also surprised me by answering comments from me that I would never have expected a response from her before. For example, this morning, my daughter decided to make pancakes without assistance. I laugh every time I read this because I could just imagine that happening. And she poured way too much flour into a bowl. And I said, oh, that's too much. And her reply was, it's better with more. Isn't that the truth? Wow, I'm a little emotional today about reading this. She said, I was stunned and laughed, and then we both laughed nervously as we watched an egg that accidentally slipped out of her hand roll across the counter without breaking. She was in the moment with me, and we shared a laugh. That might seem small to others, but this is really a big deal. I know that a good probiotic is essential for individuals on the spectrum. I used many, and she meant many, and I do mean different kinds over the years, but never had a response like this. I will continue using probiotics, and hopefully we'll have many more amazing moments to share because he's introducing more of the product. So that fourth pillar is Omega. I was at a National Doctors of Nutrition conference with massive amounts of nutrition companies. Every single person came back and said that every single probiotic in that room smelled when they opened it up. You can open ours up. My father-in-law can't swallow pills, so we crush up his Protandim and take apart his other things, crush up everything. But he's able to chew the Omega because it has a lemon lime flavor, and the reason there's no smell is because it's traceable right from the boat to the bottle. Okay, contains omega-7s, vitamin D3, and omega-3 helps with brain support, cardiovascular, and skin function. And you guys can see what we did is we took this NRF2 technology and we have a patented skincare regimen. I laugh when I see a lot of other people using skincare stuff, and it's not patented. There's no safety. To get a patent, it has to be safe and have an unexpected outcome, which separates things on the market. We have a patent on all 4 of these products. I use them every single day. And yes, I'm a man saying I use 4 skincare products every single day. And then this is another step of back to what we talked about. This is from Protandim and our NRF2 Brain Fuel energy product. I take the decaf and the caffeinated one. It's made with natural ingredients, herbs, just like Protandim. And you can look at the writing. This is a 9-year-old. You can look at the writing on the left, and then a week later, the writing on the right. Unbelievable. Can't read it. All over the place over here. It's in line, and you can read it. So I had an accident a couple years ago, 3 years ago now, and was unable to get myself healthy again. That's me on the left there. I tried everything. I started using our probiotic. I started using our cleanse on a regular basis. I'll just tell you, if you're not doing a cleanse on a regular basis, you will never be as healthy as you can be. And then this is my friend Tommy. A year ago, he's still the same to this day because his body is growing and is functioning the way God intended it to function, because these products work on a nutrigenomics basis. The fat burn is great. It targets belly fat. Visceral fat doesn't have stimulants in it. It's natural, made with natural herbs, and it focuses on the visceral fat. I believe it's why that was a 40-inch waist. I'm in a 32-inch waist now. You guys can see I'm even better than that. You'll have some pictures coming here pretty soon. So my friend Ben Davidson and I talk about this all the time. We have one of the vets in this company that created the heartworm pill back in the 80s. My friend Ben Davidson's one of the top dog trainers in the country. And we talk about biohacking our dogs. And back to what I said, no placebo effect in dogs. When people give their dogs Protandem or Pet Tandem, one of the two, it's a patented formulation, they see an immediate result. And there's no placebo effect. Dogs age 7 times faster than humans. They'll feel it a little bit sooner than we will. Why I tell people, if you're going to take Protandem, you should take it at least a month after 4 months, because that's when it's most potent, for every decade you've been alive. So for me, I'd take it 3 months plus 5, which is 8 months. 8 months is when I started feeling the best results on Protandem. I'll take them the rest of my life. I take all of our products. And then let me finish up with this. My watch went dead with me, so just bear with me, and I'm going to be finished. I like to try to keep these around 30 minutes. There's obviously an opportunity. And I think back of why Amazon is so big, and we're no different. We're no different than Amazon. When I tell somebody about my Fitbit watch and they go and buy it on Amazon, I don't get paid for it. And I've started to be doing affiliate marketing now because I've realized how important this is. I believe Lifevantage is an affiliate marketing company. We get paid for teaching other people about opportunity and about these products. And just as I said, just get with the person that invited you to do this. And remember that if you want to be able to talk about all the products, then the Platinum Pack is a no-brainer. I did a 6 months review of all the people that signed up in my organization. About 80% of the people choose a Platinum Pack, about 10% choose a gold, and 10% choose silver. And I'm just saying, if I wanted to start a grocery store, I wouldn't just have bread and milk. I'd have all the products. Okay, that's just my piece on it. And to run a business, you have to use product to have a business. The way a lot of nutritional companies and direct sales companies got in trouble is people were doing businesses, making money, and not taking any of the products, which is illegal. And that's what got companies in trouble. Well, I'm going to use all our products. It makes me fully commissionable, and there's free shipping. So, and then this is the final couple things. 40% commissions on the first purchase, and then 7 to 9% on an average 5%. Where can you make 5% residual income every time you tell somebody something, and they tell somebody, and they tell somebody? Just look at this picture. That's how it starts. It starts with one person. We now have over 3,000 business partners all around the world, and we just launched into 9 or 7 more countries. Okay, and I'm super excited about that. Okay, so I think this is the biggest bonus. It's called a generational matching bonus. I sign up one person, and then the next 5 people they sign up, we get paid on 10% on the first person and 5% on the next 4 people. So you can see the ranks in the company. We're a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ, on the New York Stock Exchange. I look at the stock market often. Our company has been varying right around $4 and $5, which is great because I bought the stock at 60 cents. My wife and I are Elite Pro 7s. You can see what that means. And I like what Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money when you sleep, you work till you die. And I found this awesome innovation adoption curve, and it was introduced by Everett Rogers back in 1962, and I put Lifevantage into this model. And we're in that early adoption phase. The early majority to late majority is where all the money is made. About 80% of the money is made, okay? And you can see where we are. We're in that early adoption stage, but momentum is coming. In the next 2 to 3 years, momentum is coming. We already see it. We know it. I believe we could have been $1 billion company with just Rotanim Nerve 2, but why stop there when we have such amazing scientifically validated patented products? And I like what J. Paul Getty said. I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. It's all about helping others get what they want to get what you want. And I love that. And then I'm going to finish with this. This is my last slide. This was done by the Today Show just a couple months back. And they talked about nutrigenomics. Our foundation of our company is we're at the forefront of nutrigenomics. This is affecting our gene expression, right? Upregulating and downregulating these genes, taking naturally occurring compounds. They say it's going to be a $600 billion industry in the next 2 years. I don't know about you, but I want to have a piece of that. I want to have even if it's a small piece. Wouldn't you like to have a small piece of $600 billion? And I think it's, I actually think of this little boy standing here waiting for this wave to come. But I'm diving in and swimming out so I can catch it like the other guy did. He's still contemplating, right? So all I can tell you is thanks for listening to me tonight. I know it's a lot of information to take in. I recorded this, but just get back with the person that invited you. And if you're a distributor, you can have a copy of these slides and this recording. I'll leave once I stop the recording, I'll leave my email address in the comment section, and then you can just email me and I'll be more than happy to get you these slides. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. What an honor and a privilege to share this information with you guys tonight. And thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it.